In this video, we're talking about the top 5 gated communities in and around Bremerton. So if this is something that's up your alley, you're going to want to watch all the way till the end. What's up, everybody? It's Cassandra Lopez with the Living in Bremerton channel. If you're new to the channel, you're going to want to go ahead and subscribe. This channel is all about living in Bremerton. So whether you are new to Bremerton, here for the first time, or maybe you've been here a while and just want to learn more, be sure to subscribe, tap that little bell, and you can reach out to me directly. This is my cell phone and my email, so please feel free to reach out if there's anything I can do to support your relocation to Bremerton, Washington. Top 5 gated communities in no particular order, but we'll just start with Sulfur Springs. So Sulfur Springs is a neighborhood that was built in like the early to mid 2000s. It is in East Bremerton, and it is tucked away around a corner at a dead-end road. So if you didn't know it was there, like there's no way you would accidentally find it, because the sign as you're coming towards the end of the dead-end road literally says no turnaround dead-end road. So you would think there's nothing down there. But if you do get all the way to the end and you turn the corner, there's the gate. And so, you know, maybe if you ignore the dead-end sign and you decide to turn around down there, you might see it. But I lived here for like 15 years before I even knew it was there. So it's in East Bremerton. It's right on the Port Washington Narrows. Most every lot in that neighborhood has either a water or mountain view or both. So it's western facing. So you would see the Olympic Mountains. They are like glorified tree houses. Some of them, because they kept a lot of the natural topography and trees. It is kind of built into a hillside. So that was probably necessary because the trees and the root structures help hold up the hill. So they kept a lot of the trees, and so a lot of these homes were built like just in and around the trees, and so they were all designed to take advantage of all the views and the water and the sunsets and all that loveliness. And so they're really interesting designs. And fun fact, every lot in that neighborhood except for 2 are round. You don't see round property lines very often. They're usually some sort of square, rectangle, parallelogram, something like that. Second gated community we're going to talk about is Skyfall. So Skyfall is actually a new construction neighborhood, and currently they are in phase 2. So they're just wrapping up phase 2. They're actually waiting for the county to approve the design of a new road. They're going to punch in a new road, and as soon as they have that new road and they can build it to access to phase 3, then they will release phase 3 as pre-sales. These homes are huge. They're, I think, the smallest one's like 3,000 square feet. They are on at least an acre of land, and they're up in the high 6 figures. During the height of the market, the last couple of years, they were like 1.2-ish, 1.25, I think is probably the highest one we saw. And now they're down kind of right around $1 million or just below that, just to account for the inflated interest rates and, you know, the builder just trying to get them sold. They are Garrett Custom Homes. Garrett is one of the premier builders in our area. For neighborhoods, there's a lot of builders who do just, you know, one-offs and stuff, but Garrett does a lot of neighborhoods around Kitsap and Pierce County. High quality builder. I really like his work. There's a lot of builders around here who do plan unit developments, and you can really tell when you go through the ones, which ones are quality and which ones are not so quality. So I like Garrett's work. They have good construction, good finishes, good features, good, you know, all that floor plans, all that good stuff. Skyfall is located in Chico, the Chico area of West Bremerton. It's way up on a hill, and so some of the phase 2 and phase 1 homes have an eastern facing view, and then phase 3 is going to have a western facing view, depending on what side of the hill you're on. The third gated community we're going to talk about is Hawkstone at McCormick Woods. So McCormick Woods is located in South Kitsap in Port Orchard, and McCormick Woods has been actually developing for the last 20 to 25 years. It's a golf course community. It's got a ton of neighborhoods out there that just keep going up and up. Over the years, it's had a ton of different builders in there. And Hawkstone specifically, so if you were to take the size of home, like the previous one we just discussed at Skyfall, so, you know, 2,800 square feet up to 4,000 square feet, just these enormous houses, but on a smaller lot. So we're talking 1/4 acre to 1/3 of an acre lot. That's what you would be looking at there. So Hawkstone's going to have a more like suburban condensed feeling whereas Skyfall would have a more sprawled out urban setting, just because the lots are, 3 times bigger. Hawkstone is going to be kind of in that 700 range, probably like 6 to 8, just to be safe. They're going to be in that range as far as the price point's concerned. They were built in late 90s, early 2000s. So just kind of right around that time when like sunken living rooms were really popular and that sort of thing. So if you were to tour one of these homes, you'd probably see a lot of features that were indicative to that time of build. The fourth gated community we're going to talk about is Harbor Inlet. Harbor Inlet is in Tracyton, so East Central Kitsap, and this is actually another Garrett custom home neighborhood. A very, very small neighborhood though, so there's only about 10 homes in this particular development. And I believe most of them are built out. There may be 2 or 3 that are still available as pre-sales, but I think most of them are built out and ready to go. These are more modest homes, so 2 to 3 bedrooms, maybe around that 1,800 to 2,000 square foot mark. Really small lots, so probably less than a quarter acre. But quality build, quality construction, a little bit more affordable than the Skyfall neighborhood. So we're looking 700, like right around there for these new construction, which is pretty good for this builder and a new construction. These are in the Central Kitsap School District, so that makes them more favorable. Some of them are going to have peekaboo views of Dyes Inlet. They were built in an area where there were 2 existing homes at the end of the point. And these 2 homes are full on waterfront and they're enormous. They look like estates. They're just crazy town big. And the builders bought out all the property around them and then built this neighborhood. So it's going to share an entrance for these 2 existing homes, but those are all the way at the end. You're not going to drive by them or anything. But those homes, all that to say, are going to command the majority of the view. So these new construction homes are going to have just little slivers of views here and there. Not going to affect the value all that much. The 5th gated community we're going to talk about is Ambleside. Ambleside is in Illahee, which is also in East Central Kitsap, but it's on the other side. So whereas Tracyton is like western facing, Illahee is eastern facing. So this neighborhood was built on the Port Orchard Bay. So even though it's in Bremerton in East Central Kitsap, the body of water that it sits on is Port Orchard Bay, and right across is Bainbridge Island. So you'll have, views of the water and the island for the majority of the homes. Also is built into a hill, although not as steep as a hill as the Sulfur Springs neighborhood that we talked about in the beginning. So not quite as dense or foresty. This is going to be a more modest neighborhood. So, quarter acre lots, 2,500 square foot homes, definitely bread and butter, affordable, that kind of thing. And Ambleside is also in the Central Kitsap School District, and Illahee in general, the town, it's kind of where Bremerton and Poulsbo meet. So like Illahee and Brownsville, those are all kind of right in that area. So you have kind of a back door into Poulsbo there, but it's also just about 5 or 10 minutes to Silverdale. So it's a pretty good location. Illahee in general, I guess with the exception of Ambleside, is pretty foresty. So as you're driving through, just a ton of trees everywhere. But this is a really, really modest, affordable gated community if that's what's important to you. A couple of things to note about gated communities in general is they will almost always have a homeowners association with association dues that every homeowner is accountable for. And if for nothing else than to just pay for and maintain the operation of the gate. Gated communities will very oftentimes have luxury or upscale homes because the gate itself, acting as a physical barrier, gives the feeling of exclusivity, like a members only kind of thing. So a lot of the homeowners in there really like that, and they're willing to pay extra and more for that security and peace of mind. Because of that exclusivity, you will likely always pay more for a home inside a gated community than you would for its non-gated counterpart. And because of that, because of all of those factors, actually, property taxes are also a little bit higher, but home values also tend to stay high. So the gated feeling and the fact that most of the properties in there are going to be owner occupied, most of the places are going to have regulations that, make sure that your yard and your home are maintained. So every home in there has really great curb appeal. All of that stuff helps keep up your property value and all of your neighbors' property values as well. So even though the homes are going to cost a little bit more and maybe the dues are a little bit more, the values will always kind of stay a little bit higher because of that as well. So if you like that video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, tap that little bell so you're notified every time I drop a new video. Be sure to share this with a friend if you have one looking for a gated community, and be sure to reach out to me if there's anything I can do to support your relocation to Bremerton, Washington. Bye for now.